All right, YouTube.
Hello. Did you hear that thing in my throat? Yeah. Okay. Today we
Oh
are.
my God, let's
Okay.
redo.
Okay.
Redo. Hold up. Hello, YouTube.
Hey.
What's up? We are the Carters.
I should stop waving at.
And we are here to talk to you today about long distance advice, keys to success. Major keys to success.
Major keys to success. But yes, okay, so basically what we're doing today is just a little segment on advice, how to maintain a long distance and just relationships in general to keep them healthy.
Yeah.
Do's and don'ts, things like that.
For those of you guys who don't know us or our story, we were in a long distance relationship for 3 years. All through college for me. Mm-hmm. 1 year of high school and 2 years of college for her.
Yes.
But 3 years total. Me in California, her in Virginia and Florida, so really opposite
Across
sides of the country, you know?
Not easy, but it is actually something that people come to me about a lot. Like, the most, what is it? The most common topic that people ask my advice for. So I just kind of wanted to make this for people who, don't want to come and ask?
Who are, thinking about doing the long distance thing, because I know a lot of people are, even if it's not, cross country, maybe you're an hour apart or
Distance
different
is still
states
distance.
apart, you know what I'm saying? But the long distance aspect still affects relationships if you're not, seeing each other every day.
Correct. So I think we should just jump into it.
Let's go.
So first thing is first, long distance is not for everyone. And that's not necessarily what people want to hear, but it is the truth of it, because there are just some people whose personalities is that your phone? Or anyways, there are some people whose personalities are just not cut out for the commitment and work that it requires, which is not necessarily a bad thing. To each their own. For some people it works, it's worth it. For other people it's just easier to either take a break in the relationship or kind of just call it quits, like we'll see what happens down the line if something happens. Totally normal, that is okay. Just one of the first things is to be honest with yourself. Going off of what I just said, it's just you're committing to a harder time period in your relationship if you do decide that you want to do a long distance relationship. There are just lots of effort that is required to maintain it and keep it healthy. So
Accepting that first piece is really, the first key is just acknowledging that it's not going to be easy.
I should tell how I talked to you about it.
I mean, yeah, obviously, I attribute a lot of our success really to her, because she was the one who really talked to me about communication and trust and all these things that we're going to talk to you about. Because she had kind of already had experience with that, so she was able to, let me know all the things that needed to happen if this was going to work out. And I really didn't know. I didn't, when I left for college, I'm like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. But she, in her mind, she knew exactly what needed to happen. And acknowledging that it's not going to be easy is the first step.
Correct. I almost explain what I did when I started talking to you about it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a very blunt person. I'm just pretty straightforward. What you see is what you get. I don't hold back a lot. So we were both in high school, I think, when I had this talk with you.
Right before I left, yeah.
Yeah, before he left for college, I kind of sat him down and I was like, we're going to do this long-distance relationship. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to communicate better than you've ever communicated before. You've got to put forth the effort, but we're going to make it work. And it was early on in our relationship, and I did not care. I was like, it's going to work out. You're going to have to make this work because I'm going to make this work.
People think that, I give 50, she gives 50, and that's what it makes. But in order to have a really strong relationship, we each have to give 100%.
Correct.
She can't give 100 and me give 50 and we think it's going to work out. Try that, and it doesn't work out, We've
gone through time periods where he would give 50%. I had to, almost give 150.
Yeah.
Try and pick up the slack, and that is tiring. That is not fair to either person.
And it's not healthy for the relationship at all.
It's very draining, and it makes it very hard. Mm-hmm. We've had some hard times. We have.
Yeah.
For a long distance.
Long distance isn't easy.
It is not,
Trust
and if
me,
you
it's
are
not.
going through problems, that is normal. It is weird if you do not. Every relationship has problems. Every relationship. If I could talk,
You got it.
English, that would be
got
nice. Every relationship goes through like tough time periods that you kind of just have to work through. That's just the truth of it all. Everybody experiences it. Everybody can get through it. You just have to want to get through it. Both people have to be committed to working through those hard times. All right. Progressing in this conversation, some of the yeses, the do's for a long distance relationship, which are the major keys to success. DJ Khaled. All right, okay. So the first one, probably the most obvious one, is communication is key. We've kind of touched on that. It is the most necessary aspect of a long distance relationship because that is literally all you have. All you can do is communicate. That is it. And going off of that, the other person, the other significant other in your relationship cannot read your mind. They cannot read your mind. Communication through like iPhones, like your phones and like Facebook, however you guys do communicate, you cannot truly convey like how you're feeling, so they can't pick up the things that they could pick up if you were not in a long distance relationship. Like you can pick up on like moods and if something's off when you're with that person in person, but when you're not, you kind of just have to bite the bullet and explain how you're feeling. You can't leave it up to the other person to figure that out, because if you do, you're just gonna it's mind games and you're really the only one playing because the other person doesn't even know that there's something going on.
For all you females out there, men cannot read minds, especially over a text message. You guys might be trying to, imply that you're feeling a certain way, but unless, like, she had to lay it out for me, you know what I'm saying? When she was upset, I wouldn't know, because I'm in California, I have practice, I have school, I have all this stuff going on in my life, so I wouldn't know when she was really, really upset. I might maybe pick up on like a text if it's like a short message,
Like,
but
LOL.
that was
And
over
it's, like,
time.
obvious.
Yeah, that was over time. But what really kept us going was her expressing exactly how she felt when she was upset, why she was upset, and what we had to do to fix it. Because without her doing that, then I would have just gone about my day and
He would not
never
know,
known.
and I'd be sitting over on the other side of the country like
pissed,
what
salty.
an ass, yeah. But you just have to communicate. You gotta let them know. They cannot read your mind. It saves a lot of trouble if you just are straight up with the person. So, yeah, we already talked about that. Okay, another thing is the honesty. Trust and honesty go hand in hand. If you do not trust the person that you are with, yes, it is, first of all, it is hard, and second of all, you're always your mind will eat you up.
Think the worst things possible.
Correct. If they don't respond, they could be doing homework. If you're talking like college relationships, they could be doing
Or
homework.
practice, or just hanging out with friends playing video games.
Correct. And if you do not trust that person, your mind will automatically assume the worst. I think one of the main things when I've talked to people is the loyalty aspect of it. They don't believe that their significant other is being loyal to them, and they could honestly just have a busy schedule and not have as much time to respond to text messages and like call you back, things like that. But if you do not trust that person, your mind eats you up and you think the worst, and then that causes tension.
A lot of tension.
And then you have all these problems, and on top of thinking that this person is cheating on you, you're not wanting to communicate as much, and then it's just a snowball downhill of it's not going to work out. So you have to trust that person.
Communication loyalty, Skype. Okay. So, thankful to Apple and technology, it was not easy, it was hopeful for us to have Skype and FaceTime. We didn't really have FaceTime like the first year of our relationship, but it was really Skype. But that was kind of slow. The Wi-Fi connection wasn't working. It was tough. We would have, lost calls every night. But once we started FaceTiming more, that was easy with both of our iPhones. We could call each other like any time of the day, any place. So that really made it easy to connect with her better. I didn't have to wait till night after my long day just to like call her in the middle of the day. So FaceTime really helped. Just being able to...
Quicker communication.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just like a quick call so I could see her face. Or like a phone call just to hear her voice. Just things where anything you can do to try and feel connected to that person, to see them, to hear their voice.
Do it.
That helps throughout the day. It helps. It helps keep you guys connected even though you're 3,000 miles apart.
It might not feel like much, but it truly does help keep the relationship going, keep it healthy. Just like the little things that when you can't see the person, those little tiny things do make the world of a difference because it's effort. It's kind of showing that the other person is putting forth the effort to do what they can with what they're given.
And just to like talk about your day, just to call, say, hey, how's your day going? This is what's going on in my day. That way you guys can kind of share each other's burden throughout the day because everyone has their daily struggles and things like that. So it's nice to have someone that you care about and cares about you, where you can talk to them about those things and feel relieved by talking to your best friend.
The little tiny things, like I said, make a difference. Because you cannot see that person all the time, it might sound cheesy to some of you, but movie dates, like over Skype and over FaceTime, those are fun. Like they might seem a little like, cheesy, corny, whatever you want to call it. But when you get into it, it's fun, like, because you can't be there with the person, so if you both, like, turn on the same movie and are watching it, it's as close as you're going to get to, like, being together.
Netflix and chill.
Yes, Netflix and chill.
Long distance Netflix and chill.
Correct. Long distance Netflix and chill.
Where you actually watch Netflix.
Correct. Just, like, little... just little things like that, they help connect you guys, and it's just a fun little experience. Yeah. Real quick, something else that popped up, I didn't write this, but one of the main keys that I give to people are to be understanding. It is a big thing, especially if you are going from seeing that person all the time, talking all the time, to being in a long-distance relationship. Understand that you are living two different lives. Like, that person has their own schedule, you have your own schedule. Be understanding and be able to go with the flow of finding your flow together. Like, like falling into your routine, that takes time, and it makes it a lot easier and takes a lot of the pressure off when you are understanding of the other person and just come to terms with the fact that they're not always going to be able.
They have a life
call.
too.
Correct.
You have a life. I have a life. You have to do the things that you have to do in order to live and be successful.
Correct. And then another thing that we did, going back to like the little tiny things that you can do, we wrote letters to each other, which, like you said before, is a dead art form.
It is.
It is.
It's a lost art.
But keepsake, they're really, comforting. It's very comforting. It's very nice to be able to have an actual object of something to look back on, to read. It's really heartwarming when you receive those kind of things from the other person. Call me crazy, but a text to me is not going to be the same as a letter that you sat down and wrote. You can text and email, phone calls, FaceTime. That's nice, it's convenient, but it just makes you a little more reassured when the other person, when you know that they took their time, sat down, thought about you, and, devoted that time to writing to you. Mm-hmm. So, and they're awesome to look back on, because we have ones from, the very beginning.
She saves everything.
I save everything.
Everything. Every note, every flower.
Every flower. No, literally. Remember when you brought me Chipotle for my birthday? Mm-hmm. During my junior year. I kept the Chipotle bag. I am a hoarder.
The bag?
The bag.
The bag?
That's weird. I know. Yeah, I kept the bag. So, anyways, it's just nice to receive these kind of things. But, ladies, do not get on your man's case if he does not write to you all the time. I wrote way more letters than you wrote. That is just a woman thing.
I tried, though. You did.
You did. He put forth the effort, and I could tell. But we just have more time to think about the lovey kind of things, so we have more time to sit down and write and express ourselves. That's just the way that men and women are different. So if your man is not writing as many letters to you,
don't be upset.
Yeah, don't be upset. That's normal. He does.
Still loves you. She was better than I was with sending care packages. That's what really made me excited when I got this box in my locker. I was like, oh. You know what I'm saying? All my friends are around, all my teammates, and they see a box. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
No, but yes, I did. That was another point. It's to be creative, spontaneous as much as you can to keep the spark alive. Not just keep it healthy and get it going. Sure, you can get by, but it makes the time that you guys have to spend apart a little easier when it's like surprise things. Like he would send me surprise flowers. I remember one time he sent me rainbow roses, made my year. Like I was like, oh my god, like freaked out. But yeah, things like that. If you can send care packages, that's always nice to receive something kind of down the line of letters. It's just nice to actually have something when you can't have that person there. Care packages, if you guys live close enough, which not from California to Virginia, and maybe like a surprise visit. Like it's just little things, not all the time. Nobody's expecting you to pop up every weekend. Like that's not realistic. But when you do have the time and like the money, if you have to buy flights, then it's fun. Like it's cool. The other person's super happy. It's an unexpected time you guys get to spend together. I don't know. It's nice. Yeah. Another thing. Set short-term goals. If you look at the bigger picture, which usually people tell you like look at the bigger picture, and if you think marriage, which I thought like we just knew. So it's like we knew that there was an end goal. If you're doing that too, then think short-term goals. Like it is just a lot easier to think like if you're gonna have a visit, okay? Whenever we would have a visit, we'd plan it. I would focus on that and only that. I wouldn't think, oh, this is nice, and then we can do visits for the next 2.5 years. Like that's just it's not a very comforting thought when you have to think of like all the time that you've got to put in this. So setting short-term goals helps you focus on something. It's almost like a little light at the end of a tunnel, just more consistently than thinking, oh, when distance will be over.
Well, we had short-term goals, but we also had the main long-term goal, which was to eventually get married.
Correct.
And we kind of talked about that and discussed that even before I left for college. Like, I don't want to just date just to date. I'm not going to be in a long-distance relationship just to have we were crazy a girlfriend kids. For a couple months. No, like if I'm gonna do this, if we're gonna do this, then let's set some goals for ourselves. Let's have the end goal of possibly getting married. Starting a family one day, like those kind of things, which is big talk for two young kids.
Yes. If you're not there, don't push yourself to be there because I know that sometimes marriage talk can push the other person completely away.
But don't waste your time either. Like don't be in a relationship with someone who you can't see yourself having a future with.
So you're just voluntarily wasting your time.
That's pretty much what it was with us. Like while we were dating long distance, we knew that we could have a future together, which is what kept me going, which is what kept us going, knowing that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. Show appreciation. It is not easy doing all the things that Ari did for me and for us, and sometimes women feel like they're taken for granted for all the things that they do, and that's when she feels drained, and that's when she feels like all the things that she's doing I don't appreciate. So I really have to let her know that everything that she does, every little thing, I appreciate. Like I said, I attribute our relationship success throughout college really to Ari and her determination and her perseverance, the love and the kindness that she showed me all those years, even when I was distant at times. She still kept me close, and I really appreciate her now and forever for teaching me how to communicate, how to talk about things.
He was not a good communicator at first.
I wasn't.
I had to pry everything from him. I would sit him down and I'd be like, let's talk. Like, you have to talk. I'm not just going to talk.
We don't talk about our feelings.
They're not good at
it. We just bottle them up and we deal with them later. But you can't do that in a long-distance relationship, because if you bottle up your feelings like that, then you're just going to grow resentment every single day. And it's going to get to a point where you're just done with it and it's just going to be over. Mm-hmm. So for her to drag that out of me the first year or so really made a difference, and so I appreciate her for getting me to grow in that aspect.
Another thing I would say is accept your hardships. Accept that there are going to be times that are not as smooth as others. We went through our fair share of rough patches throughout our long-distance relationship. Everybody does. And if there are times when the other person may be feeling down, it is your job to kind of keep it going, maybe help pick it up when they cannot, because there will be times when they have to do the same for you. So it's kind of like you bite the bullet and you just kind of have to swallow your pride. Just
You
be like,
guys
hey, what's
support
up?
each
Like, are
other.
you okay? Yes. Support each other. Help bring the other person up when they're having a hard time standing on their own. That happens. It sometimes happens often for some people, not as often for others. But when it does, just be willing to pick up the slack for the other person when they cannot carry it.
That's love.
It is.
That's what love is.
Yes. And then our last point would be right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, it's just to have faith in your relationship. If you are constantly doubting it and the other person knows that you're constantly doubting it, eventually the other person's going to believe those doubts that you have. And then they're going to be like, it's going to come to a point where you guys wonder, what is the point? Like, and then that's just a matter of time before that relationship fails. So you really, is that blunt? Is that too much?
That's actually, hey, straight to the point. That's honest.
Okay, yeah, no, but seriously, it is. There's just, you have to have faith in your relationship. You have to want to keep it going. You can't be a Debbie Downer about it because it is easy to be down about a long distance relationship because it's not easy. So you just kind of have to have faith in it. Know that you guys are strong enough. If you guys are both on the same page with all of this stuff and the fact that you do want to be with each other, that makes it so much easier because then it's like you kind of accept those hard times, not as like, oh, like it's not going to work out, like, oh, we're going through something, this is it. It's kind of like you just accept it, like you know, like sometimes it's rough, but you just have to have faith that it's going to make it through. Everybody has their rough patches. You just have to work together to get through them.
Have faith. Don't be afraid to just really talk about expectations. Talk about what you want, and talk about what your partner wants, and talk about, you know, if you guys do see a future together and what that future looks like. And those are the conversations that you have to have if you really, really want to make this work.
And those are the conversations that you have to have, even if it's not going to, because I know that sometimes people keep things, like, bottled up.
Yeah.
And it's like, you want the other person to feel like they can talk to you if they're having doubts. Because I have seen relationships where one party does not allow the other person to be completely open, and that does lead to cheating. There are times when that can lead to it, when they feel like they can't talk to you about it, where they feel like there's a wall there. So then they're like, I can't talk about it. It's easier just to not let you know and just to do what I'm doing. I have seen that happen. You do not want to be in the dark about those kind of things. You want to be open and honest with each other.
Yeah, so do your best to have a very open communication, loving, you know, non-judgmental relationship. And you know, just know and just let that person know that you love them and you care about them, and you know, you really want this to work, and all those things.
Everything we mentioned. And that's that, right? That's pretty much all we've got on that topic. So we hope that you guys could take something from this. If you didn't take everything, just take like a pointer or two, or we could help.
Ask us questions.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to comment and ask us something. We will respond to you.
Yes, I love to help people. Especially with things like this, because I've been there, done that. So I have a lot of experience with it. There are lots of people who have come to me, and I welcome it. I do welcome it. Like, I want to help you. If you need help, if you have questions, I want to help answer them. And I'm very honest. Like, if I've been through something like it, I will let you know. I will let you know how I handled it. Same with him. Mm-hmm. If you, like, guys, even girls, if you've got questions for him, like, you let us know. We will do what we can to help you. So, yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this. Let us know if you need any other advice or videos, anything like that. We would love to help. So we will see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.